What's up, folks? This is the Savage Scientist Ed. We're about to look back at our 7 days of programming. And before you move to day 9, make sure you understand the stuff in this video. So, we're about to recap this in 2 minutes. Hold on. Let's do 3 minutes. So, to start, C++ is a compiled language. And code written in a compiled language will be translated into an executable file. And that executable file is specific for the computer that we are using. For example, your Windows executable will not run on a Mac. Now, to create our program, we use an IDE. That's an integrated development environment. That's a piece of software that contains 2 components, an editor and a compiler. And we write our code in the editor and we create our executables with the compiler. And now, of course, we use DevC++ as our IDE. And it can be easily found by searching Google or clicking on this video. So once you install DevC++, we're going to start off with a new project. And you do that by clicking on the new project and following these examples. And then we're about to start writing some code. So this interesting line of code is what we use to gather user input and print things to the screen. Next, we move into our main function. This is the main entry point into our program. The function body starts with an opening curly brace and ends with a closing curly brace. With the power of the IOStream library, we could now print Hello World to the screen. And if you don't like Hello World, you could always change it to say whatever you want it to say. And if you don't follow the rules of C++, you will get a syntax error. And in our example, please remember, C++ statements must end with a semicolon. All functions, including the main function, should have a return value, unless we declare it void. And we'll talk about that later. Keywords and reserved words are words that we can't use to name variables in our programs. And speaking of variables, this is how you declare a variable in C++. And each variable must be within a certain data type. This is the IOStream operator that we use to get user input. The user will type some value and we're going to put that value in a variable X. In C++, we could do all the arithmetic computations like add, multiply, subtract, divide, and get modulus. In C++, there's no power operator, so we can't do this. Boolean operators is the last thing we're going to focus on in this video. Boolean expressions are 2-state operations. That means true or false, 1 or 0, all or nothing. We are looking at 2 things happening here. So in C++, we use the bool keyword to declare a Boolean value. And Boolean values are important for making decisions. So you might start seeing things like the if statement. The if statement will take a value and look at if it's true or false, and we're going to go with that decision. You may be noticing right here I'm saying subscribed equals true. What I'm doing is assigning a value true to the variable subscribed. And inside our if statement, you see 2 equal signs. That is very confusing, I know. So what I'm saying here is if the value associated with subscribed is true, then that means we are going to print the word thanks to our console window. So let's say we said subscribe equals false. That means when we get into our if statement, we will not see the word thanks printed with our output. The program execution will skip the portion of code within the curly braces. So the difference between the single equals symbol is that means we are assigning a value to our variable, and the double equals means we are checking to see if this expression is true or false. So that's basically it. You can always go back to the video that cover these specific topics and brush up on any of this stuff that isn't familiar. But for everyone else, it's time for us to move to day 9 and continue learning C++.